On the evening of January 6, 1839, as Ireland celebrated the Feast of Epiphany, known locally as Little Christmas, a deceptive calm settled over the island. Fresh snow from the previous day blanketed the landscape, creating a picturesque winter scene. But this tranquility was short-lived. By nightfall, a ferocious storm unleashed hurricane-force winds, torrential rains, and widespread chaos. The Irish called it the Night of the Big Wind. This event remains etched in Irish history as one of the most destructive natural disasters, blending meteorological fury with cultural mythology. The storm began with unusual weather patterns. Heavy snowfall the day before melted rapidly the next morning. This raised temperatures and created an eerie, windless atmosphere with dense clouds. Initial gusts struck the western counties around noon, but the tempest peaked after dark, battering the island through the early hours of January 7th. The prolonged gales howled across the land, causing unprecedented destruction. The impacts were catastrophic, affecting every corner of Ireland but hitting hardest in the west, north, and parts of the east. Winds uprooted ancient trees and stripped roofs from homes, churches, and factories. In Dublin, around a quarter of houses suffered damage from shattered windows to total collapse. Storm surges flooded coastal areas, pushing seawater inland and ruining fields. Fires erupted as chimneys collapsed, igniting thatched roofs. Estimates of human fatalities range between 250 and 300, with many occurring from maritime wrecks. 42 ships lost, primarily along the exposed west coast. In Clifton, 17 fishermen drowned when their boats were smashed. Tens of thousands were left homeless, with the poor suffering most as their simple cabins disintegrated. Livestock perished in droves, and destroyed haystacks severely disrupted the rural economy, causing hardship and starvation in the months that followed. The storm's historical significance transcends its immediate destruction. It was deemed the severest to strike Ireland in centuries, surpassing records dating back 500 years. Occurring amid the pre-famine era, it exacerbated poverty and vulnerability, foreshadowing the Great Hunger that began in 1845. The event was seen in religious terms. The timing on Epiphany fueled interpretations as divine judgment. Folklore whispered of fairies departing in rage or celebrating wildly, while others saw it as God's wrath. Contemporary accounts painted scenes of biblical devastation. The event also had a strange administrative legacy. When the Old Age Pensions Act was introduced in 1908 for those over 70, many Irish people, especially in rural areas, lacked official birth records due to incomplete registration before 1864. As a result, memories of the Night of the Big Wind became a way to prove eligibility. Applicants without documentation recounted vivid recollections of the storm to demonstrate they were old enough. In the early months of 1909, tens of thousands applied, with many successfully claiming pensions based on these accounts. How is the Night of the Big Wind remembered? It permeates Irish folklore, appearing frequently in the 1930s schools' collection of oral histories. Survivors' tales, handed down through generations, mythologized the storm, the smell of salt, the howl of winds, and omens of doom. Even today, it is invoked in comparison to modern storms, underscoring its benchmark status. Anniversaries prompt reflections, blending science with superstition. In essence, the Night of the Big Wind was more than a meteorological anomaly. Its fury stripped the land bare, but in memory it endures as a symbol of resilience amid nature's wrath. As one antiquarian noted, it swept the country clean by some gigantic broom, leaving scars that time has turned into stories. Though no equal has struck since, its echo warns of the Atlantic's unpredictable power.